love you. Guys, the whole premise of this video is all about loving yourself. Having enough courage to sit in front of the mirror and look yourself dead in the eyes and say, I love you. That's it. That's all we're talking about today. But it's a very important process because a lot of people don't know how to do it, a lot of people don't do it, and a lot of people are too scared to do it. Fear is a very intrinsic motivational factor, and anybody I've ever talked to will do so much to escape fear, so much to escape discomfort, because it's just, I don't want to, oh God, no, oh my God, oh, I'm already getting, no, see, I love myself enough to sit in front of this camera, suffer, get hot, get sweaty, get a sore throat, talk to the camera because I love you guys. That's not self-love. That is just liking YouTube. Self-love is being able to sit in a dark room by yourself with your own thoughts, understand that thoughts are thoughts, and meditate on nothing for literally hours on end. I mean, that's what Matt Diavella would say. What you really need to do is focus on you. Focus on your hobbies, focus on time alone. The past year and a half, I haven't had a girlfriend, boyfriend. I haven't had anything. Not saying that I'm I'm very straight, by the way. But I'm just saying, I don't rely on anybody for happiness. You need to first understand lesson number one, that happiness is from you. Nobody makes you happy. People don't make you happy. You make you happy. That's how that works. People come together and enhance each other's happiness, but it's like this. If you want to show up to a car show, you need to bring a nice car. Your car represents you. If you come up to a nice car show with a rust bucket, people might laugh at you. People might say, why are you here? You're not here for the specific reason. This is a very important thing. Because, listen, if you go to that car show and you absolutely love your car to the ends of the earth, even if it's a rust bucket, and people laugh at you, you can still have the self-love to say, look, I deserve to be here. I'm important enough to be here. Maybe I'm not to the high quality caliber that you are. Maybe I don't even meet the same requirements that you do, but I meet my own requirements. This does not mean be complacent with being a rust bucket, but just being understanding of where you're at and what you are and who you are and what you're becoming. That's the key fundamental fact. Because if we look at that car show analogy, it's a static image, right? There's a static timeline where it's just that car show. But imagine 10 years from now, that car show could happen again, and you could still roll up, but you could now have the nicest car, and every other car looks like a rust bucket. That is a very dynamic way to look at it. That person that loves himself is not asking, who am I right now, but who am I becoming? Because by the time he gets to that point, whew, you better watch out, because those cars that are just sitting there so happy to be around and be complacent and be cool with their nice old cars, now all of a sudden, they've become complacent. They've become static. They've become so obsessed with who am I right now that nothing matters and they won't change. Who am I becoming? Ask yourself that. Who am I becoming? What actions am I taking every single day? And how is that reflecting into the person I want to become one day? Is it helping me become some famous YouTuber that is going to change the world with his ideas? Is it going to be some amazing race car driver that's just going to completely outperform anybody else on the racetrack? I don't know who you are. I don't know who you are becoming. I don't have to answer that question. What I do have to help you do is learn how to ask yourselves the proper questions. You don't need to know how to answer them. You need to ask them. Because when you ask them, you think about them. And when you think about them, you try to answer them. And it's a feedback loop, you understand? It's like when one person goes to a concert and one person starts sitting in a room dancing, bound and determined there will be another person who dances. And now somebody else sees 2 people dancing, 3 people, 5 people, 7 people, 10 people, 12 people. Now everybody's dancing. It's a feedback loop. So you first start asking yourselves the proper questions, then all of a sudden you start having those thoughts, and then all of a sudden those thoughts keep going and going and going, and all of a sudden now you're producing the action. Now you're getting into the groove, now you're becoming the person you want to become. Because when you think it, you think it. And when you think it, you start doing it. And when you do it, you become it. And then the cycle repeats and repeats and repeats exponentially until that snowball gets so big that it's just unstoppable. You're a freaking monster and you just take out anybody in your path. Now this is nice advice, but how does this apply to real life? Well, let me give you an example. 10 months ago, actually probably it's 12 months ago now, I was in a rough spot. I was in rough shape. I didn't know who I was. If you watch the trailer of this channel, you probably know that. But let me give you a little bit more juice, a little bit more information on that. So I didn't have any concept of self-help mastery. I didn't know what I was doing. I was very like I had a huge temper. huge temper. I'd punch holes in walls. I'd kick holes in walls. I'd throw things at walls. I liked walls for some reason, and I just kept beating them up. Like, if you walk around my house, you'll see holes in the walls from when I was 7 or 8 years old. Like, it was pretty bad. Now, I was never diagnosed with anger problems, which is, thank God, because that would cement into an identity, and I would think I was stuck like that my whole life. But I essentially started surrounding myself with some pretty cool people. When I was in middle school, high school, I started doing that, but I kept feeling less than because they felt like they were smarter than me. I didn't feel like I belonged. I didn't feel like I had any right to be there, but I did. And so about 12 months ago, my best friend, John Senecal, just told me, read this book, The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. I currently have it out with a friend, but I'll link it up in the show notes below. I read the book. Completely transformed my life. It taught me how every single action in your life has a direct positive or negative impact or consequence in your life. The compound effect. It's like Warren Buffett's 8 Wonder of the World. Compound interest. It just keeps going and going and growing and growing and growing, and then all of a sudden, boom, you're there. So, I started taking some big steps. Eliminating all distractions, everything that didn't serve me. I immediately sold my Xbox, my PlayStation, any video game console, anything in my life. I went to the extreme. I completely destroyed my diet, replaced it with all these great healthy foods, totally replaced everything with working out and just getting completely in shape mentally, physically, and emotionally. I started reading some incredible books, started doing some awesome audios, started learning about some awesome people, then all of a sudden started connecting with those people. Then started having a podcast, having them on my podcast, started creating companies and businesses. And literally a year later, I have had my own LLC, I have my own coaching business, I have my own personal coach, I have my own mentors, I have a system of people, and I am in a better spot than I ever have been. Go watch some earlier videos on here. I promise you, there can't not be a sentence where I'm not saying the word because I like the word but I don't anymore. I've completely removed it from my vocabulary, and I will not accept it as part of my terminology. Neither should you. You should understand what self-love is, and it is being able to sit around with yourself in a quiet room alone for X period of time and just be there. We call this meditation. If you have yoga around you, I highly suggest going to a few sessions because it will completely change the way you think and breathe and work. Meditation is the same way. You can try some sleep meditation like Yoga Nidra. You can try some traditional meditation. You can just try whatever type of meditation you think is comfortable, but essentially you want to be able to be comfortable enough in a room alone where you can just have any thoughts coming into your life, but you're not reacting to them. That's the huge thing. You want to be aware of everything, but react to nothing. And that's essentially it. I mean, yeah, self-love, man. Self-love. It will get you so many cool places. You'll feel so much better. Just keep learning, keep grinding, keep hustling, keep growing, and keep showing me that you know what you're doing. So reach out to me on any social media platforms in the description below and tell me what you think of the show. Tell me what you think of the episode. Tell me what you think I should improve, add, remove, anything. I'm super up for it. And as for always, guys, I will see you all in the next episode. Peace.